Welcome back to this special edition of NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman as we get insights into the work of Zoetis on behalf of the animal health and the beef cattle industry. And joining me now, along with Dr. Blanding, is Sally Amtmann. She's an area business manager for Zoetis. Sally, thanks for coming to the show.
Yes, thanks, Kevin.
Now, you come to us from the Northern Plains. Tell us just a little bit about your background and where you live and your responsibilities there at Zoetis.
Sure. So I work with a team of 7 colleagues. I'm the area business manager for the Dakotas in Montana. And our colleagues and I work as a team with 2 other veterinarians and 2 nutritionists and occasionally a geneticist to bring services and support to the cattle producers in the Dakotas and Montana.
And you specifically make your home where?
In Rapid City.
In Rapid City, that's what I thought. Now, all of us have heard of Winter Storm Atlas and the devastation it brought to so many of our fellow cattlemen up there. Tell us a little bit about the report and what you've seen. Sure.
Well, it was a terrible storm, no doubt about it. And we'd had a beautiful summer, you know, here in the Dakotas, and the grass had been tall, and folks were leaving their cattle out as long as possible to take advantage of that good summer pasture. And a good rule of thumb in our neck of the woods is October 15th is really the date when producers go out and gather their cattle and bring them to town and get ready to market their calves. So many producers had not yet marketed their calves. So these cattle were out, and the storm was unexpected in its intensity and really caught everyone off guard. It was a terrible, terrible storm, and the impact on the industry there was deep and will be felt for many years to come. You know, the difficult thing was not only did we lose Mom, we lost this year's calf and we lost next year's calf. And in many cattle operations, it's just very difficult to recover quickly from that kind of impact.
Yeah, I talked to one outfit that lost, I think, 300 out of 1,100 cows and over 200 head of calves, and just absolutely devastating. But the devastation doesn't end just with the loss of livestock, does it?
No, in fact, we're having trouble getting a handle on just how many cattle were lost. Certainly in the tens of thousands, and the impact on young ranching families is especially difficult. I know Sunday afternoon I was visiting with a producer who is a young guy just in his 30s, just getting going, and he had his first group of home-raised heifers that were pregnant and ready to calve, and he lost about half of those. And it's very difficult to sit across the table and see that kind of impact on, you know, a young rancher like that. And it was very arbitrary. Some folks lost very few, and other people lost anywhere from 50 to 75% of their herd. So what I'd really like to encourage you to do, as well as some of the folks at home, is to really encourage people to support the Ranchers Relief Fund. People can get access to that through ranchersrelief.org. And then there's also a special initiative going on to donate heifers to South Dakota ranchers, and they're really focusing on young ranching families and getting heifers to those folks. So these are great ways that we can pull together as a community to really support our industry. And you know, one of the difficult things about the storm was it happened during the government shutdown. And so that kind of took the media's attention, and the storm did not get a lot of media attention. So I think as a community and as an industry, there's so much that we all can do to help, and we should.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of help, I know Zoetis really stepped up in our situation of the flood, and I know our family benefited from some free product actually that we used with some cattle that were standing in water for 72 hours. You've done something similar up there, I understood. Can you tell us more?
Oh, sure. And the job's not done yet. Okay. We'll be there until the job is done. Right away after the storm, we realized that the losses were quite substantial and that the cattle that were surviving were going to be at risk. And so we worked with our veterinarians and dealers in the area to get products out to those producers right away. We called them and said, basically, take care of your folks and let us know what you need and we'll replace it.
Wow.
So that enabled us to get support to folks fast. We've donated $50,000 to the Ranchers Relief Fund, and we're supporting veterinarians and working with some of those producers that are in difficult situations going forward.
Show your commitment to the cattle industry. Now, you're in the middle of cow country out there, and you interact with a lot of producers. Tell us about that.
Sure. So we work as a team with producers all the time, and many times we're working initially with their veterinarian or their nutritionist to help support them as customers of that veterinary clinic. But as we learn more about producers, sometimes we work directly with those producers to help them achieve special goals that they have or needs that they have or problems that they're encountering. A good example of that is our work with Jorgensen Land and Cattle. We were asked to come in and provide some support as they work with their cooperative herds to harmonize their health protocols across their operation, because as those cattle come back into Jorgensen's, whether it's the feedlot or the bull program, they need to have a predictable way of understanding how those cattle are going to perform and what they're coming back with. So we were able to bring an entire team as well as the heads of all of those 13 herds together, and we spent a day talking about their goals, their needs, and what opportunities they saw in working closer together. So that's the kind of resource that we can bring to any producer, and it doesn't have to be when they have a problem. It can be when they're getting ready to make an expansion, when they're getting ready to make a change in management. We can be there to bring in the resources to help make that be productive.
So now you have a lot of interaction obviously with producers, but what about veterinarians? Does the field sales force interact a lot with veterinarians in your area?
Absolutely. You know, veterinarians are really the shepherd of animal health, and many of our products are prescription and require that a veterinarian be involved, and we want the veterinarian to be involved because that helps us all make better decisions.
Now, what interaction do you have with Dr. Blanding and his technical services team? Tell us a little bit more about that.
Sure, we work together all the time.
Do you? Okay.
All the time. They're kind of like our right-hand guys, and we're very fortunate in that they're all just a phone call away. Whether it's our team in Exton that are there right by the phone all the time, or getting these guys to come and ride along with us and to go out and see producers and, you know, get a better understanding of how we can help.
What would you add to that, Dr. Blanding?
Yeah, actually, I would agree, and just a real recent example. Sally shared the example with Jorgensen Land and Cattle, but we actually had one of our tech services colleagues was called in by one of our key veterinarians in that area to visit with one of his clients about some ongoing problems that they've had in this particular herd with nursing calf respiratory disease, and so it was really a great opportunity to sort of bring everybody together, discuss the situation, review the risk factors that were involved there, take a look at the diagnostics that have been completed at this point, and really develop a plan for intervention, both prevention and intervention for the coming year to help reduce the incidence of respiratory disease in this herd moving forward.
That's outstanding. Now, Zoetis is clearly one of the largest animal health companies in the country and in the world for that matter. But tell us specifically from a beef industry standpoint, what areas does the beef industry rely on Zoetis for most importantly?
Well, there are many ways that we can help, and it really comes down to what is that customer's particular need or goal. So, for example, we can help with prevention. And we can help with productivity, you know, and you think about prevention and productivity, things like vaccines or deworming protocols or implant protocols. Those are the kinds of things that really help animals do well. You know, we can also help with genetics. We can also help with food safety. There are just so many different ways that we can, you know, put a unique solution together based upon that producer's situation, goals, and challenges.
Very good. And Dr. Blanding, I understand you launched your first product this summer, the Bovashield Gold one-shot product. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, we're very proud of that. It was actually a project that was a long time in the making.
Was it?
And it was frankly more than just taking two very well-known and respected existing products and dumped them in the same bottle. It actually took a tremendous amount of innovation and actually reformulation of that product to be able to combine the two existing products and still maintain the same level of protection that our customers have come to expect with the two products. We were still able to maintain up to 279 days of protection for both infectious bovine rhinotracheitis as well as bovine virus diarrhea, both types 1 and 2, again for 279 days, as well as actually enhance our level of protection for Mannheimia hemolytica, which is a primary bacterial component of bovine respiratory disease.
So tell me this, I mean, why does Zoetis choose to invest more money in coming up with a net new combination product like that when, you know, quite frankly, there are already combination respiratory products on the market?
Yeah, so again, I just refer back to it's another opportunity to provide solutions to our customers. If you can combine these two products, enhance the convenience that our producers will experience, but also actually enhance the product in and of itself, particularly when compared to some of the other competitive products that are in the marketplace right now.
I know your team has to work closely with USDA and FDA in getting approval of the products. Do you continue to do testing after the products are actually approved and launched?
Yeah, we do, and going back to the USDA and FDA. So interestingly enough, that if you look at the time frame between 2004 and 2011, 1 of every 5 animal health vaccines that have been approved by the USDA were actually awarded to Zoetis. From an animal health pharmaceutical standpoint, 1 of every 4 animal health pharmaceuticals that were approved by the FDA were awarded to Zoetis. So yes, absolutely, we have again a rich history of developing new products and innovative solutions for our customers. Particularly to your last question, besides developing new products, we are very committed to continuing to develop clinically relevant and up-to-date scientific information in regards to our current products. An example of that would be the most recent trial that we just completed evaluating Draxxin for the control of bovine respiratory disease in high-risk cattle. This was a study that was conducted at a commercial feed yard and compared Draxxin to 2 of the competitive anti-infectives in the marketplace, and we were again able to demonstrate that there are real differences between the various product choices that our customers have out there, and actually provide additional information to our veterinarians and ultimately their clients, and help them make better decisions as it relates to the health of their animals.
Dr. Blanding and Sally, thank you so much for coming to the show and sharing with us some of that on-the-ground perspective. We really appreciate that.
Certainly.
To find out more about this and other topics related to animal health and Zoetis, visit the website zoetisus.com.